In Pac-World, many lands are powered and sustained by the magical gems of virtue. The wonders of the last 4 uncharted lands are legendary, but each area has been forever separated from the rest of Pac-World by mysterious force fields.
This week on Battle of the Ports, we are taking a look at a US-developed Pac-Man game. This is Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness from Namco Home Tech, first coming to the PlayStation on the 8th of September 2000. In Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness, you must guide Miss Pac-Man on her quest to stop a witch named Mesmeralda from stealing the gems of virtue. Along the way, Miss Pac-Man encounters such obstacles such as moving blocks, exploding boxes, and locked doors. To help her, there is the Pac Radar to locate missing dots that the player will need before being allowed to reach the next section of a level. Placed about the maze are such devices as spring tiles, switch keys, hearts to regain health, and power pellets, which allow Miss Pac-Man to eat the enemies in all the areas for a limited time. As the player progresses, they must eat yellow dots scattered around each area. Once they have eaten enough of these, a door will open, allowing them to reach the new section of that area. Each area has its own number of dots, as well as snacks such as fruit and pretzels. If the player can get all of these, as well as reaching the exit of the area, they are rewarded with a gold star. The first port went to the Nintendo 64, courtesies of Mass Media, and what a lovely version this is! Clearly you can see it's vastly cleaner looking than the PlayStation original, and a lot more solid too. Gone are the warping textures and wobbly polygons, and in come straight textures with rock solid polygons. A few of the 2D effects have also been changed here and there, however I don't really think these look as nice as the PlayStation original. The 2D elements look kind of blurry, something all too typical on the N64. Talking about blurry, the multiplayer stage can be a little tricky to see what's going on. Quite possibly the lowest point of the game. Now, you may have noticed that this isn't running very smoothly. That is a strange side effect to the video capture. It runs buttery smooth on real hardware. Overall, the N64 port is really nice. The intro is kept even though it is now a load of stills. The music is present and the gameplay is just as well as the original.
The wonders of the last 4 uncharted lands are legendary, but each area has been forever separated from the rest of Pac-World by...
Next up, coming one day after the N64 release, was the Dreamcast port, which first saw a release in North America on the 13th of November 2000. So how's the Dreamcast version? Well, think of the N64 version, but even cleaner looking and containing all the video footage found in the PlayStation game, and you have the ultimate port. So yeah, this looks and sounds the best so far. The multiplayer mode still sucks big time, mind you, but it does contain the classic Miss Pac-Man game, just as the other versions have done so far. The last port came a few years later on November 3rd, 2004 to the Game Boy Advance. This port is by DSi and can be considered the black sheep of all versions. Of course, we shouldn't expect the GBA version to be in 3D, but what we should expect is a competent port. This certainly isn't that. The game can be difficult to understand at times due to the lack of true 3D perspective. This really hurts the gameplay. I think DSi knew this as well because they've gone and left out an awful lot of enemies to make the game a little easier. One change I don't get is the new music. What was wrong with the original tune? That was lively and jolly, while this game features more moody music which doesn't fit the game at all. Another disappointment is the lack of multiplayer versus the CPU. Now you can only play against other humans and will need those humans to have their own GBA and of course a link cable as well. If that wasn't bad enough, the classic original Miss Pac-Man is also missing. What a shame. And let's take a look at all 4 versions of Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness running side by side.